with Charles.
Syndicated columnist Charles Krauhammer, our good friend, joins us live from Washington, D.C. Charles, your thoughts on this speech?
Well, I think I'm going to respectfully dissent from the panel. I think it was a giant swing and a miss. Mighty Casey and Bill Clinton is the natural. Struck out on this. I don't think it will move the needle whatsoever. Look, it had all the classic Clinton elements. It was engaging. It was humorous. In some cases, it was generous. I think there were more mentions of the Bushes than I heard in 3 days in Tampa. But on the other hand, it was also vintage Clinton in that it was sprawling, undisciplined, and truly self-indulgent. This is one of the strangest nomination speeches I think ever given. It was a kind of an amalgam between a State of the Union address, a policy wonk seminar, and what sounded to me like a campaign speech for a third Clinton term. Obama was sort of incidental. He'd be shoved in every once in a while in the speech as a way to say, well, he thinks as I do. You know, Megyn, you raised the point about Clinton saying, I believe that no other president could have done this or done any better than this or quicker. But remember, the slogan of Obama in '08 was, yes, we can. And as was mentioned earlier, you heard in the Elizabeth Warren speech, it was sort of a denunciation of the miserable conditions in America today. And that's the kind of speech you would have expected 4 years ago, running against the Republicans. There was no recognition whatsoever that the current conditions are the result, and they are on the watch of, the Obama administration. And one last point, it is true that he made a lot of detailed rebuttals, and he's sort of the rebuttaler in chief on most of the stuff heard in Tampa. But Paul Ryan can handle all of that in 10 minutes in his debate. So I think it was a wasted opportunity of what could have been a great, stirring, rousing endorsement of Obama.
Charles, we often don't talk about how President Clinton is very different from President Obama and about the moderation and the so-called triangulation working with the Republican Congress. But the real acceleration in that Clinton economy happened with a Republican Senate and a Republican House with some spending restraints and capital gains taxes cuts as well.
That's precisely right, and it's precisely the one thing Clinton could not admit, that when he lost the House in the Gingrich Revolution, 1994, he actually changed course. First 2 years, he was a sort of left wing, trying to take over health care, et cetera, with Hillary Care, raising taxes and all that, as Obama was. But he made a very decisive shift, which for Obama was natural, because he is by instinct a centrist. And Obama is instinctually a far more left Democrat. And it's because of that shift to the center that Clinton succeeded, that he passed welfare, that he ended up with a balanced budget. And it's because that he did not shift that Obama is where he is, with a fairly wrecked economy, little support, and really just hanging on in a race that he could very well lose.
Charles, how much does it help the Democrats, however, just to see one of their most loved Democrats, a 69% approval rating for President Clinton today, get up there and say, I'm on Team Obama and you should be too?
I think there is a value in the hall and among the believers that this was an important event. It's the laying on of hands of the grand old man. Look, Clinton is to Democrats what Reagan, after his presidency, was to Republicans, you know, an icon. And I think there is a kind of a symbolism in Clinton saying, and particularly because he was a centrist, Obama's not, he's okay, support him, etc. But I don't think it has any resonance beyond the hall. And that's why I think it was a missed opportunity. It could have been a tight speech. It could have been an Obama-oriented speech. And I think there's one great irony here. Think about how long Obama was hiding behind the curtains, waiting for Clinton to finish. In some way, it was the Clinton revenge for '08. I'm sure he was sort of having his watch the whole time in disbelief about how long it was going on. And in a way, it was Clinton keeping people waiting, as he always does, except this time, It was the man he was supposedly endorsing and promoting.
Charles, I have 10 seconds. The change from Bank of America Stadium to here in the arena.
It wasn't the weather. They knew what the weather was going to be months ago. This is clearly a response to the fear of a sea of empty seats. That's why this is being done.
Charles Krauhammer, as always, thank you very much.
I want to get down to Chris Darlock, who has details on how people on Twitter are responding to the speeches this evening.